Hi, this is Sayyid Muhammad Fazan Ali, and my colleague member is Ilham Sadat, Raja Harun, and Fahim Rasul. So we are analysis about the 2024 disruption in the Panama and Suez Canal. So what are kind of impacts and on the supply chain and strategic solution for the global logistic and policymakers. So when we now I am on to be introduce this topic. Our course number is our topic number is CS19C, where the trade through the Panama and Suez Canal halved in 2024 due to political unrest, basically. So our challenge is to evaluate alternatives like air freight, focusing on their cost and impact. We will use supply chain resilience, according to my research, cost benefit analysis and environmental impact assessment framework regarding to targeting logistic companies like Mars and our policymakers. So our goal is to deliver evidence-based solution. And then we if we are going about the background on canals, so these canals like Panama and Suez canals are lifeline of global trade. Like the Panama Canal handles 5% of trade, and while the Suez Canal manages 15% of trade. Together, they are facilitating almost 20% of global trade. Then it's the worth of almost $1 trillion, according to my research. When we are going about the disruption details, so in 2024, political unrest halved trade to the both canals. Swiss transit dropped by 55% by the daily by in mid October, while Panama were 30% below peak due to debt. The, this led to be a 70% cost increase on routes like Asia and Europe, according to my source. So I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Fahim, to conclude next part.
So I will discuss first. I will discuss impact on supply chain disruptions. So the disruptions cause global supply chain strain, and with vessel demand up 3% and container ship demand up 12%, leading to port congestion. Industries like electronics, fashion, perishables, and automotive were hit hard, as reported by just dial 2024. So we can use the alternative methods. So for alternative methods, companies adopted by using air freight, which surged 13.4% in 2024 per applied 2024A, and routing added 10 to 14 days and 30 to 40% more fuel if we use land routes. So the land routes are limited as per Aerosender 2024 and apply 2024B. So if we talk about the financial costs, air freight costs 4 to 6 times more than sea freight at $600 versus $400 for 85 kg per Fringtons. Uh, Routing adds 32 to 40% more fuel cost or 1 to 2 million dollar per voyage per Aerosenders. Fashion shipping costs tripled and cutting margins by 5 to 10%, and transportation contributed 8 to 8% to 2.9% CPI rise per Just Dial 2024 and the Bureau of Transportation Statistics 2024. So, if we talk about environmental impacts, so air freight emits 15 to 50 times more carbon dioxide than sea freight at 500 gram per ton kilometer per intake logistics 2024. Routing adds 30 to 40% more emissions or 1 million tons of carbon dioxide annually we emit. So, uh, uh, this undermines the Paris Agreement's 1.5 degree centigrade target. So, as per Intake Logistics 2024. So, now I'm going to invite my next member. He will explain further.
Yes, hi, myself Raja Harun Islam, and I'll explain the data analysis. So first of all, I'll explain the impact areas Like in impact areas, we'll explain the business faces reduced margins with fashion brands cutting quality per marketplace. Consumers see higher prices with apparel up to 0.1% and SIDs facing a 0.9% rise per year, according to my research. And then emissions threatening ecosystems per intake logistics and regions like Latin America and Europe, Middle East bear higher costs according to my research. So secondly, I'll explain the theoretical analysis. In theoretical analysis, we applied supply chain resilience according to our research to suggest adaptive strategies, basically cost benefits analysis weights air freight's speed against its costs and emissions. Environmental impact assessment per intake logistics quantifies emissions guiding logistics firm to balance efficiency, cost, and sustainability. So now I'll pass to my next team member, Ilham. Ilham, you should explain the next one, yeah?
Yeah. Our finding shows that colon disruption lead to 13.4% sugar in air freight, reasoning costs 4 to 6 times, and emissions for 15 to 50 times, adding 1 million tons of CO2 annually. This impact in industries like fashion and electronics and consumer with higher price and reason like American and Europe, Middle East. Slide 12
Yeah.
is
So yeah.
re-
So now I'm we added. So Ilham, if you don't mind, can I add the recommendations? So if we go with
yeah.
the recommendations, what about the our conclude and recommendations? So we our recommendation is that so logistic companies diversify the supply chain and adopt biofuels basically if they want to be cutting the emissions by 80%. So the businesses should use just in time with the buffer stock to reduce air freight by 20%. So the policymakers should stabilize route and introduce carbon taxes. So like 50 pound per ton of CO2. So the finally invest in manually designed AI-driven route optimization to cut the cost by 15%, aligning with the portals according to my research. So the competitive advantage is the strategies basically. So our recommendations and regarding this research. So we need to go with the ambitions by the cutting the we must need to use the biofuels. So it's the best way to cutting the ambitions as well as the reduce the prices. So but regarding the references, basically, the next slide, regarding the references, we are using the UNCTAD and apply, and we go with the references through the Freightons and Gestiles and academic sources like Corpa and the supply chain management and ensuring a robust foundation of our analysis basically. So this is from that's all from our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.